Hello and welcome to our reporting season spotlight, your shortcut to the results that matter. Well, Westpac's $1.7 billion quarterly net profit is a 9% decline compared to the quarterly averages of last year, blaming the drop on hedge accounting that it says will reverse over time. Customer deposits grew 14.4 billion, the loan growth to 13.4 billion, and Westpac is blaming cost of living pressures and high interest rates, which they say remain challenging for some customers, while businesses face cost pressures and lower demand. Chief Executive Anthony Miller saying the RBA could cut the cash rate as early as tomorrow, which would provide some relief to households. Share price down more than 4% in Monday's trade. Bendigo and Adelaide Bank reporting a $265 million cash profit for the first half. That's down almost 10% from the previous half. Statutory net profit after tax was down 17.5% over the same period. And Chief Executive Richard Fennell has said income was impacted by margin pressures driven by higher funding costs to support accelerated lending growth. The bank now expecting official interest rates to be cut to 3.5% this calendar year and says it anticipates a more positive economic outlook. Elsewhere, BlueScope Steel's first half net profit after tax coming in at $179 million, down 59% from the first half of last year. US operations, its North Star Steel Mill in Ohio suffered a 65% drop in earnings to $182 million. It generates about half its profits from the US, and the company has lifted its interim dividend by 20% to 30 cents a share despite that slump in profit. Chief Executive Mark Vassella forecasting a slight improvement in underlying earnings in the second half to between 360 and 430 million, with conditions in Australia set to improve and a cost-cutting blitz likely to help returns. There was no mention of the US tariff regime in those results. Share price rocketing 12% in Monday's trade. A2 Milk upgrading its full-year guidance and declaring its first interim dividend of 8.5 cents a share. A2M achieving double-digit growth revenue, that is, of 10% to close to $894 million in the first half. Chief Executive and Managing Director David Bortoluzzi saying the company's infant milk formula business is bucking the trend in China, achieving a record market share of 5.3%. It's also gained market share in the Australian liquid milk market, as with it through its A2 Milk and A2 Milk lactose-free products. Revenue growth guidance increased from mid to high single digits to low to mid double-digit percentage on the prior year. Basic earnings up close to 7.5% to 12.7 cents a share. Lend-Lease profit is back in the black, and the company is saying it anticipates earnings per share of 54 to 62 cents in this financial year. The range includes 18 cents distributed for the first half of the year, with the remaining 36 to 44 cents anticipated for the second half. Statutory profit after tax was at $48 million for the first half, which includes negative investment property revaluations of $74 million. We're also flagging a 27% gearing with available liquidity of $2.6 billion for the first half, and said investors' gearing is expected to decrease in the second half of the year while remaining toward the top end of guidance. And other stocks we're tracking today, rail freight operator Horizon will distribute an interim dividend of 9.2 cents a share, 60% franked, down slightly from the first half. It comes as it reported a 4% reduction in earnings over the same period. For the financial year, it's flagged expecting earnings in the lower range between $1.6 to $1.74 billion. In the meantime, Ordinate reporting first half profit down 29% on the first half. The company saying moderate strengthening is expected in the second half, with a return to normal order patterns and growth by FY26. And payments provider Findi saying it expects record FY25 earnings in the $30 to $32 million range, notably driven by organic growth. The company also flagging the number of ATMs to be deployed under its contract with the State Bank of India has been increased by 54%. Let's take a look at which companies are reporting tomorrow. Among them, ARB, the mining giant BHP, Deterra Royalties, Hub24, and Seek.